Acharya Astodasa Srimad Shila Abhaya Chanarvind Bhaktivedanta Swami Shila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnavrind ki Jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai. So today we'll be reading text number 29 of Srimad Bhagavatam from Canto 3 entitled The Status Quo, Chapter 26, Fundamental Principles of Material Nature. We'll all do Mangal Charan. Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utha Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vangsha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devem Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevayat Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Text 29. Tejasatu vikurvana buddhi tattvam abhuti sati Dravyaspurana Vijnanam Indriyanam Anugraham Tejasatu Vikurvana Buddhi Tattvam Abhutsati Dravyaspurana Vijnanam Indriyanam Anugraha. Vaishnavas. Tejasatu Vikurvana Abhutsati Indriyanam Anugraha. Tejasatu Vikurvana Buddhi Tattvam Abhutsati Dravyaspurana Vijnanam Indriyanam Anugraha. Tejasatu Vikurvana Buddhi Tattvam Abhutsati Dravyaspurana Vijnanam Indriyanam Anugraha. Tejasatu Vikurvana Buddhi Tattvam Abhutsati Dravyaspurana Vijnanam Indriyanam Anugraha. Word for word. Tejasa. From the false ego in passion to then Vikurvana undergoing transformation. Buddhi intelligence. Tattvam, principle. Abhut, took birth. Sati, O virtuous lady. Dravya, objects. Spuranam, coming into view. Vijnanam, ascertaining. Indriyanam, to the senses. Anugraha, giving assistance. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Chanarvin. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. By transformation of the false ego in passion, intelligence takes birth, O virtuous lady. The function of intelligence are to help in ascertaining the nature of objects when they come into view and to help the senses. Purport. Intelligence is the discriminating power to understand an object, and it helps the senses make choices. Therefore, intelligence is supposed to be the master of the senses. Perfection of the intelligence is attained when one becomes fixed in the activities of Krishna consciousness. By the proper use of intelligence, one's consciousness is expanded, and the ultimate expansion of consciousness is Krishna consciousness. Fired up. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here we are learning the Sarga principle. Right? The fundamentals of this material manifestation that all of us have taken on board. We are all embodied beings. All of us. And each and every one of us has a part in this material world. We are part of this material world. Have you ever considered that? When the Virata Rupa is shown, Arjuna sees everybody in it. Everyone. What does that mean? We are all part of it. All of us. So we are part of this material manifestation. So here, the formation of the material manifestation is described. This is Sarga. We are right now at the principle of Mahatattva. Okay, this is Mahatattva that is being described. So first is Pradhana. Pradhana is unmanifested. It is unmanifested. It's not formed yet. Right? So think of pradhana as a seed. A seed doesn't have much in it. Right? It's just a seed. I don't know if you've seen a seed. You can just crush it between your teeth. When that same seed forms, manifests into a tree, pretty hard to move. Pretty hard. There used to be a big tree here. It fell off now. A huge tree. Right now it fell, it broke the roof, but that was a huge tree. So if you go across St. Leonard's Park, you see that big tree right here in front. Huge. But it all came from a small seed that you could crush between your teeth. Now you can't even move it even if you brought a big truck. A truck crashes into it, the tree will just bend a little bit. So this is pradhana. Pradhana is just a seed. There is no vitality in it. Right? What agitates pradhana? What agitates pradhana? Who? Shambhu. Right? Who agitates? Shambhu. This we are in Canto 2 now of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it will be described here as well. Sorry, just want to make that point. It will also be described here. But when pradhana is there, from the gaze of Vishnu, Sadashiv comes, and his shadow is Shambhu. That massive personality sitting on top of a bull. Then he glances upon Rama Devi, and her shadow becomes Durga, sitting on the lion. So now these two personalities come. Now, when Shambhu sees Durga, he becomes agitated. And then he is given the jivas and he is given the Trishula. Right? What is his Trishula? Time. Right? Past, present, future. The Trishula. Durga also has a Trishula. What is her Trishul? The three gunas. Right? Goodness, passion, ignorance. Are you getting? The Trishula, the trident that they are holding. They both have the purpose of their trident. Then they poke into pradhana and agitate pradhana. When pradhana gets agitated, Mahat forms. Now the formation of Mahat is being described. At this point, everything we hear are templates. It is not like there is, that intelligence is like, you can see it as a blob. It's a template. There is a template called intelligence. Right? First we talked, it always begins with ignorance. Why? Because Shankar's son will be Sankara. So Shankar, Shambhu, his son, agitated. He's in ignorance. That's why he's considered the lord of ignorance. You getting? His first produce is Mahat in ignorance. And what is Mahat in ignorance? Tanmatras. The 10 agitated elements. And the 10 senses and sense objects, like both. Both, right? So that's the Tanmatras. They both are formed. You get sound that gives rise to space, ether. Then you have, my brain's not working today, but you'll have fire. Fire gives rise to, form gives rise to fire. So like that, they'll have, different touches. Like this, the Tanmatras will form. So now the Tanmatras are formed in ignorance. Now in goodness, your wonderful mind is born. What a beautiful thing, right? The mind. It's product of goodness. Just like these elements. How many of you want to, go for a vacation and be in the elements? Right? Those elements are produce of ignorance. In case you're thinking, I'll just go back to nature. I'll just live there. Yeah, welcome. You are being grabbed and hugged by ignorance. They are products of ignorance. That serene, beautiful, peaceful nature is mode of ignorance. And then our mind, we hate our mind, right? So much agitated. Sometimes, I don't know if you guys notice when you're sleeping, your mind is continuously working, right? You have slept for 5-6 hours, but your mind is doing, today I had a dream that I was in office. In the end, I was working in my mind. I was literally working. I was actually working. I was producing stuff. I was in office. I'm working. Right? 8 hours. When I woke up, I was tired. Working, right? I'm like, man, I worked really hard today. Agitated. So your mind is terrible, but actually mind is the producer of goodness. It's actually the product of goodness. It's Aniruddha and Pradyumna as well, both. Sometimes you hear Aniruddha, if you go to Canto 11, it also says Pradyumna. So these things happen. They move. Depending on what what view is being described. Through the mind you can get the goal. So it is Aniruddha is the Lord. You get? So Aniruddha is Lord because he's the Lord of goals. Right? So if there is a goal in your mind, I want to get this, then that's Aniruddha. So mind generally helps in that. But mind also helps in creating desires. So it is also part of Pradyumna. Pradyumna generates desire. Right? But here we are seeing that it is intelligence. Right? Buddhi tattvam. Very nice word, right? Buddhi tattva. Tattva means absolute truth, or a principle that cannot change through time, place, or circumstance. Kala, desha, vesha will not affect this principle. Then it is a tattva. The definition of tattva is it cannot be changed by time, place, and circumstance. Right? That's the definition. Now, buddhi tattva, what is that? What is this intelligence? What is this mind? What is this false ego? What are these three things? Right? When the soul is born in the spiritual world, he is a produce of Krishna. Ishvara Paramah Krishna. Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. He's the Vigraha of Sat, Chit and Ananda. Anadir Adir Govinda. Sarva Karana Karana. So he is the source of my existence. Right? Me, the soul, I have come into existence because of Krishna. Okay? So now, that soul, if it has to stay in this material world, right, that soul with the qualities of Satchit Ananda, those qualities need to be covered. Those qualities have to be covered. So then these three tattvas are formed. So, although all of us have theoretically understood we are the soul, practically it's very hard to figure it out, right? In my dream, I looked exactly like this. When I was dreaming of working, I looked exactly like this. Even in my dreams, I look like me. I don't look like somebody else. So why is this important? That this perception that I have of my false ego, my ahankara, my mind, my mana, my intelligence, my buddhi, these three things have covered my Satchitananda. Sat gets covered by ahankar. Sat is eternality. It gets covered by ahankar in the mode of ignorance. And it becomes asat. You got? Sat becomes now asat. Then Chit gets covered by intelligence. And it becomes a Chit. Right? And then finally, Ananda gets covered by the mind. And it becomes Nirananda. So now you are understanding why the modes work that way? Because Ananda, we are Anandmayo Bhyasar. Krishna, he is the Anandmayo. So we are hankering for Krishna. Now to cover that, the mind must come. Why? Because we decided when we were in Shuddha Sattva that we need to leave. We were all of us. We were in Vrindavan. All of us. Yeah? We were with the cows. We were eating butter. All of us. Look how stupid we are. Now we are sitting here in 2023. Good Friday. What a fall down here. I was telling somebody, I said, we were there. Then we became Brahma. Then we became Indra. And we kept falling. Now we are here today. What a journey, eh? What a fall down. Yeah. We have to understand our fall down. And that fall down has occurred because the mind has covered Ananda. Right? That is the reason it has happened. That is why we focus so much on chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Do you understand? Why there is so much focus? Because if we can get a taste of Ananda, the other two will manifest by itself. Chit will manifest and Sat will manifest. We sometimes think, no, first I need to feel eternal. Then I'll become knowledgeable. Then I'll get to know Krishna. No, Gaudiya Vaishnavism is the other way around. We are saying, no, you chant. Chant and be. Yeah, be happy. Why? Ananda. If you are able to get that happiness, my God, your chitta will form and your sat will come out. Don't worry. Because the highest principle is Ananda. We were in Vrindavan. We were so happy. We decided, I'm getting out of this place. So then our Ananda had to be covered by mode of goodness. Because our Ananda, which is mode of Shuddha Sattva, right, we decided to give that up. So then mode of goodness covers that. The Trishula, it covers that, right? So now we are here. We have discussed the three modes. Now we are in intelligence. And intelligence is actually in passion. Although it feels different, right? It feels that mind is in passion, intelligence is in goodness, but actually that's not the case. Mind is goodness because it's very alert, it's very active. It has qualities of a Brahmana. Your mind is a Brahmana. It's Brahminical. Your intelligence, it's Kshatriya. It is rallying the senses. It has its army. It is rallying its army. Why is it rallying its army? So that it can enjoy. So intelligence, Srila Prabhupada, intelligence is the discriminating power to understand an object. Try telling this in any school nowadays. That my intelligence is used for discrimination. They will like, you're racist. I don't know what ist. There are so many ists nowadays. You lose track. So many schisms. Right? But they'll immediately think you are discriminating. Yes, that is the purpose of intelligence. It discriminates. Nowadays they are having a big hoo-ha, or you should consider everybody together. Why are you discriminating, men, women, child, old men, black, white, green. Everything is being, under the microscope. You shouldn't discriminate. No, we will. It is the job of the intelligence to discriminate. We will discriminate. Now, does that mean we are haters of people? No. But does that mean we understand what something is? Yes. Right? Just like when there is a hot iron. Right? Many of you would have ironed clothes. There's a hot iron. You are careful. You're careful to make sure which side you're holding. You may stand and say, well, I don't discriminate. I'll hold any side. Try it. Try it. See what happens. Intelligence gives us the ability to discriminate. So now this intelligence, right? Buddhi tattvam abhut sit. Sorry, sati. This is buddhi tattva, buddhi tattvam abhut. Means it is born. Intelligence is born as a principle. What does that mean? That if it is born, then it must die. If it is born, it will die. Soul's qualities are, Bhagavad Gita, na jayate, na mriyate. You understand the quality of the spirit soul? Na jayate, na mriyate. But here, we are saying, no, this principle is born, which means that this principle can also be destroyed. Alright? So this is relative principle. Meaning it's true in the material manifestation, not true in the spiritual manifestation. Right? So the buddhi, once we, when you read in Canto 11 about dissolution, as you'll see dissolution, you will see that because all the jivas come into the belly of Narayan, right? When dissolution happens, all the world gets dissolved into the belly of Narayan. At that time, it is explained how the mind will also merge out. The subtle body all vanishes. And this, just as a spirit soul, we go to sleep. As a pure spirit soul, we go to sleep. We are sleeping. And then Shambhu again agitates. Durga Devi again comes. And voila, we are back here again. Right? How many lifetimes we have slept? How many lifetimes we have woken up is extraordinary. Our journey here in this material manifestation has been extraordinary. We have stayed away from Krishna for a very long time. Very long time. Do not think, oh, why I am not feeling love for Krishna, I'm chanting my 16 rounds. You have been away from Krishna for a very long time. You might feel anger towards Krishna. You might feel hatred towards Krishna. Okay. Okay. We've been away too long. Jaya Vijaya go away from Krishna for 3 births and they get very angry. Right? So they become 3 demons. Right? For a little bit they go away, they become extremely angry. Right? So we've been away so long from Krishna, our anger knows no bounds. Right? Why this is happening to me? Why you are looking at me like this? Why this is... I hate everybody. Okay? Actually, you don't hate everybody. You hate Krishna. That's the actual problem. People are just consequence of the hatred. So we have to understand where our actual problem lies. Our actual problem lies with the fact that we don't love Krishna. And why? Because we have lost our Ananda. So through intelligence, right, once we have the Hare Krishna mantra, through intelligence we can start discriminating what's good for us and what's bad for us. As we are chanting, discrimination will come. You will be able to decipher that, okay, I am walking down the street, I see a bar, and it is written there, free entry. And you're thinking, well, it's free. I am free. It's a free world. I must enter. But no, that discrimination, because you are chanting, it tells you that if I enter here, I'll be bound. Although it says free, I will be bound. Right? We will be able to see the bondages of this material world. And material world binds us so nicely. So nicely. You'll be amazed. Right? You'll be amazed at how quickly we get attached to things. So quickly. And it can be anything minuscule. You stand in line in the bus. And you get attached that this is my position. You get attached. This is my position. Somebody cuts in front of you, you're like, what are you doing, man? You're in air. Like the space is in air. You're just standing like that. You're like, my position. So, sarva upadi vinirmukta. First, we have to give up these positions. So, and this requires intelligence. Tat paratvena nirmala. This is where buddhi helps. You know that first part? Sarva upadi vinirmukta tat paratvena nirmala. That requires intelligence to help. Rishikena rishikesha. Then when your intelligence is able to discriminate nicely, then the real master of the senses will come. Right? Now the master of the senses is intelligence. Right? It is not able to discriminate properly, so we are getting stuck. But if we are able to give up these worthless positions and become nirmala and become humble, so we can give up position but still be very agitated. Right? See me, I gave up my position. Yes, I'm so great. Oh, pregnant lady came, I gave up my seat in the bus. Yeah. Oh yes, people are looking at you and you're like, yes. Suddenly place goes dark, spotlight comes on you. And then everyone's clapping. And you're like, yes, it's me. I gave up the seat. Right? Sarva upadi vinirmuktva tat paratvena nirmala. Please become humble after that. Right? Just become humble. Now Rishikena Rishikesha. Now Krishna, who is the master of the senses, he will take over. Krishna takes the position of our intelligence. Right? He will now help and guide our intelligence. He will allow us to discriminate. Sometimes you may be thinking that, like one time Kadam Khanara Maharaj was saying this. He was out in King Cross. He was saying posters. Posters or I don't know, paintings. Either painting or poster, one of the things. He was telling this story. And he's saying that I'm selling this poster, and one lady comes and says, hey, come to my room, and I'll pay for the painting there. Being an innocent brahmachari, he says, yeah, okay. He goes up, he's making a sale. He comes, sits down there. As he's looking left, as he's looking right, he suddenly realizes, I'm in the wrong place. These things happen. Sometimes you may inadvertently come into a place which is not appropriate. Krishna will give the guidance. So he immediately ran out. He realized, I'm in the wrong place, and he immediately came out. So these things happen. Right? It happens that our intelligence doesn't allow us to discriminate. But Krishna, he will rectify that position. He will take coverage of the senses. That's why he's Rishikesha. Are you understanding why he's called Rishikesha? Because he will take that position and he will hold on to the senses. Right? That's why with Arjuna, in Bhagavad Gita, that beautiful picture of Krishna sitting and holding the horses. Why? Because he is the intelligence for Arjuna. And he's guiding him through the whole battle. Entire battle. When battle finishes, they go into the enemy side of the camp. And big hua, everybody's so happy. They have killed everyone. They're very happy. Then what does Krishna tell Arjuna? Arjuna, jump off from this chariot. He's saying, no, my Lord, first you. He says, no, 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 you jump off first. So Arjuna comes down. He says, go away. He tells all the Pandavas, move away, move away. Then the moment he steps down from the chariot, it burns to ash. Burns to ash, the chariot. And then, like Arjuna is looking, Yudhishthira, Bhima, all are looking. They're like, what is that? My dear Krishna, why did the chariot burn to ash? He says, so many nuclear weapons hit this chariot. So many. The only reason it was functioning is because of me. Now I have given up this chariot. It's burned to ash. Right? That is our position. Krishna has left our chariot. Krishna has left our chariot. Right? So now we are here in this material world, wiggling our way around. We've been a worm. We've been a tree. We've been birds. We've been animals. We've had a good life. You've done it all. Sometimes you see, you're thinking, I wish I was like a lion. Yeah, you've been like that. Don't worry. You've been through all of that. 8.4 million species. Don't worry. Right? You have been through all of it. Now you have an opportunity to get out. Focus on that. So that discrimination is what we are worried about. So that's why we will read the last two lines which Srila Prabhupada has written. Right? The perfection of intelligence is attained when one becomes fixed in the activities of Krishna consciousness. By the proper use of intelligence, one's consciousness is expanded, and the ultimate expansion of consciousness is Krishna consciousness. When we become conscious of Krishna, Krishna does take charge of our senses. He does. So we don't have to be too worried, first I have to get my sat. Brahmavads, they focus a lot on getting sat. First we will get sat. Then we'll get chit. Then we'll get ananda. We are like, no. First we'll get ananda. Gaudiyas. First we are going to get ananda. Then chit will come. Sat will fall by itself. By its wayside. We are not interested. So that is our mood. Right? But Brahmavad, Mayavads, they go the other way. They go bottom up. Like, I will first learn my sat. You can't figure out sat. If you have no taste, what does eternality give you if there is no bliss? Whatever I told you, winters is here. This is going to be eternal. This winter is going to stay eternally. You're like, man, that's terrible, man. So there is no bliss. What value does eternality have? What value? What is it giving you? Then what does the Brahmavad say? What is Brahmavad's position? That when you are in Brahman, right? This is Brahmavad. When you are in Brahman and you become fully knowledgeable, then you are in divine bliss. This is his position. Mayavad, right now you are foolish. Once you get Chitta, then you will get Ananda. This is Mayavad philosophy. Ours is no, we seek Ananda. Everything else will come but naturally. It will fall by its own right. So the Chitta potency, and remember that we are we are products of Krishna's Chit potency. The Jivas are products of Krishna's Chit potency. Right? And intelligence is the one that is covering that. Are you getting? We are Krishna's Chit potency, right? So our Chit is covered by intelligence. That is why it is explained that one who becomes a devotee, he is buddhimana. He is buddhimana. Why? Because now Krishna is in that position of intelligence. Are you getting how this works out? Why all the philosophies are explaining in this way. Alright, so we'll end here. It's a short shloka. It's 8:40. But as we are going to go through this, we are going to get so much of this material manifestation. And we'll realize that how stuck we are. We are really stuck here. Like stuck. Right? There is quicksand, and then there is quicksand made of cement. We are stuck in the quicksand made of cement. It's a hard gig to stay here in this material world. Right? So yeah, devotees want to share something. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. In material world, it's what is it? Downwards up. Ignorance takes the highest position, which is our ahankara. Passion takes the next position, and goodness is the last position. So it's flipped. It's backwards down. But then when you flip it upwards, then it's different. Yeah. So intelligence is passion, is Pradyumna. Sometimes also Aniruddha. It's not like it's only Pradyumna. It has Aniruddha aspect as well. So Pradyumna and Aniruddha keep shifting between each other. Right? So it's an aspect of Pradyumna. Yeah? Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. So the first product of Mahat is ignorance. The first product of Mahat. When Lord Shiva, when Shambhu and Durga, they agitate Pradhana, the first Mahat, it is, Mahat purely is in mode of goodness. Like purely in its own, state is mode of goodness. But its first produce is ignorance. And that is Ahankar. So that is why we are saying that ignorance is the primary principle that runs the material. We are all ignorant in any way, shape, or form. Right? So, whatever we do, you might be a savant, right? And you are able to do so many things, but you are ignorant of many other things. A savant doesn't know how to behave nicely with other people, right? So there is ignorance there. But when it comes to maybe doing mathematics or maybe doing physics, excellent. So they are good at something, but they are ignorant at others. And the real reason of ignorance is the fact that Mahat's primary, first birth is ignorance. Oh yeah. Like that you mean? Okay. So that is because the first when Mahat comes in ignorance, then the Tanmatras come, the elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether. They come there. So they're actually the first products of ignorance. So although we may think, let's keep the earth very nice, let's take care of the trees, let's clean up the air. All wills considered socially, highly charitable and socially great mode of goodness, it's actually instantiating and pushing mode of ignorance. A clean earth means we will love to stay here more. That's the problem. So although it feels very nice, right? It's typically explained that the sadhus would then go into the forest, right? Why? Because they want to stay away from people, right? But then what do they do in the forest? Now that they are away, they are meditating. Because they recognize the forest is not a safe place. They recognize it. So this material world is although our thoughts of serenity and peacefulness, we consider this, let there be no wars, let there, all of these wonderful utopic positions, they're just encouraging mode of ignorance, nothing else. And it's weird and doesn't feel right? For us it doesn't feel, because we've been here so long, it doesn't feel right, and that's true. We should not disavow our feelings. But then these feelings are both, they were born. And so they can die. These feelings that, material world, when everything becomes so nice, we'll all be good. That feeling will die. That's why Bhaktivinoda Swami was saying, yes, you can have varnashrama, but it's not like, okay, sure, society will be functional, but what's the value? So have Daivi varnashrama. So if you are doing varnashrama, establish Krishna consciousness in varnashrama, then there is value. Then nobody says that don't clean earth. Nobody's saying all of that, but then your focus is Krishna. We keep earth clean in respect of Krishna, because earth is the wife of Varaha. So you see, now we are cleaning the waters, because the waters are considered the sweats of Narayan. You get what I mean? So now our principles have all changed. We are still doing the same act. So now we are from chapter 3, we have gone to chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita, where we are now using Krishna and then seeing the material manifestation. So yeah. So, we are not against these ideas of clean earth and all. It's just that without Krishna, this is just another state of ignorance. Anything else? Yes, Prabhu. When you're saying universe, you mean material universe? Yeah, but so there is a spiritual, sky, and there's a material sky. So are you talking about spiritual or material? So material begins and it ends. They are connected in the sense is Lord Shankarshana, which is Vishnu. He creates the material universe. But because the material universe starts, it will end. Right? If anything starts, it will end. 100%. Right? Because remember what we said, that an absolute truth cannot be impacted by time, place, and circumstance. So if there is time, meaning it began at 10 o'clock, like my class began at 7:45, it will end at 8:45. That's just the way it is. So anything begins, it has to end. God, this is material manifestation. But the fact that we've discussed about Krishna, this discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, this is eternal. This worship that we are doing right now, this is worship, what we are doing. Discussing Bhagavatam is worship. Nityam, this is eternal. Right? So this cannot get destroyed. So that's spiritual. You got? So that even in the material world, you can do spiritual activities that will outlast Brahmas, outlast everybody, because it's an eternal concept. Make sense? Jai. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Go Premanande.